there.
Jason Belmonte to get things underway in this year's final, and he does so with a strike.
And with a messenger, crikey. That was the headpin that came flying back off the left-hand side kickback. Just watch this. That 10-pin goes, and that's a Big Ten strike to open up with. Shades of things to come we would like to see.
Well, I always say the same thing, that Jason's got to control himself up there on stage. He mustn't make too much eye contact with the crowd, but, well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. You just enjoy yourself, Jason. You bowl your heart out and do what you always do. Paul Moor, on the other hand, you'll notice a marked difference with the way that this man approaches the game. Deadly serious from start to finish, and deadly accurate from start to finish.
Absolutely, yes. Nice wide outside line there. Lots of rotation, lots of revs. And look at that, right in the 1-2 pocket. Clean as a whistle. So we're pretty even after one frame.
I should say so. That's how it all stands. And if we finish like that, then we're in for a real treat. Well, Cass, we talk a lot about the revolutions that the two-handers can put on the ball. They haven't got the thumb in the ball, so consequently they can use the left hand to really spin it. And at the moment, Jason's out-revving Paul quite considerably.
Oh, crikey. 600 revs per minute on that last shot. Doesn't always work in your favour, though. You have to be in the pocket with that sort of shot. Otherwise, you can be in all sorts of trouble. But not just at the moment for Jason.
Jason obliging with a demonstration of in the pocket.
Absolutely, yeah, right in the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander. Just a few revs lower than his previous shot, but threw all those pins all over the place. Rips the rack. Jason obviously working up a sweat there under these TV lights. Pressure probably on both players. It's not every day you stand up and play for $30,000.
Well, I think Paul's biggest pressure of this tournament was to get through that incredible semi-final against Remy Ong. That's where he really seemed to be suffering. And now he's in the final. Basically, he's in familiar territory.
3 years in a row he's been here.
Oh, great stuff. This is what the crowd came to see. It's strike after strike yet again.
One would suggest a slightly biased crowd coming from Yorkshire, as Paul Moor does. But yeah, great bowling from both players. 2 strikes each to start.
Paul seems to be really keeping a lid on those revs.
Well, against Remy Ong, of course, Remy being a left-hander, they both played on the left-hand side of the lane. That's not the situation here.
Oh, goodness me.
Belmo shoots another 10 out on the right-hand side of the lane. And, of course, Paul is on his own out on the left-hand side. So make of it what you like. They're in their own area. They've got the lane to themselves.
And just a reminder that Jason Belmonte is the only player to shoot that maximum 300 game in the history of the World 10-pin Masters. So he too holds a unique record. But I think both these players would give up any pretensions to maximum games in this final. They are after the win. They want the trophy, $1,000.
Nice title to put on your CV as well.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. Sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, I'll just nip out the commentary booth for 5 minutes and let the players get on with it. 3 strikes each. Perfection so far. Classic bowling.
Well, we hope you're enjoying your ringside seats at the Jason and Paul show.
Well, let's face it, whoever doesn't strike, the pressure will be on them.
Clean again, it's looking very good.
Well, it's as smooth as you like, as smooth as Jason can make it. There is the fingers deep in the ball, no thumb. And the rotation is just unbelievable. When it hits that pocket, those pins just go flying. Needs to keep it under control. It's a high swinging, high hooking ball, lots of power, lots of speed.
That's a good strike rate, 72%, that's way up there. converting well on the spares. It's two ends of the spectrum. Strikes are great, but you've got to make sure that you're clean as well. You don't want open frames. That will cost you. And as we've seen this, well, basically we've seen this year at this year's tournament, the quality of bowling, an open frame, you've lost the match.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Paul looking for stroke number 4.
Paul is really controlling the speed and the revs on this ball, and he's trying to make sure that he leaves that lane condition as unaffected as possible.
Well, absolutely. That's the whole idea and the concept behind this bowling. Use the oars to your advantage. Do your shoelaces up when you have to, and shoot some strikes. And of course, we can thank our friends at Complete Leisure for this fantastic lane condition they've given us this tournament.
Yeah, he liked it. And the showmanship has started. Moor won't respond. You're not going to get any sort of shouting response from Paul. He's just going to keep throwing his strikes if he can.
Hollywood looking for an Oscar. He's obviously got the crowd on his side. And yes, it may well be that he's trying to psych out Paul Moor here. Could be an interesting couple of frames. They can both keep striking.
It was a very sudden change, wasn't it, of tempo from Belmonte off a ball that looked similar to all the others.
Well, if you've hit 4 perfect strikes, you've got to think, OK, you know, I'm lined up, I've got my A game here. How long will this condition last for me? How many strikes can I make before I possibly have to make a change?
Well, it's 5 for Belmonte, and Moor just pulling out of that shot. We've seen a few players do this, but that's not a problem. This is what elite players in any sport will do. If it's not right, they won't go. Quality of the highest order. Well, this is exactly how the Belmonte-Barnes semi-final started. And when I saw both players get to halfway, striking out, I must admit, Cass, I thought, well, we're going to have to wait a long time to see something like this again. And we've had to wait for just the second semi-final to pass. And we're back in to this strikeout situation.
A strike feast, isn't it? 5 each. 6 for Belmonte, he's halfway there.
Well, Belmonte's filling his boots now.
Absolutely, large boots to fill, and he's taken a whole handful. Look at this. Absolute perfection, time after time after time.
There's going to be some sore shoulders after this tournament for the crowd, because they're having to hold those strike cards up time and time again. That is just perfect.
I was talking to Jason just before this final. Next week he's off to Istanbul, then he's off to Florida, back to Sweden, and he says he's actually going to get a week at home in Australia, if he's lucky, before he takes off around the world again. What a schedule these bowlers have got.
Just remind people who he is. Although if he wins this one, they'll know just who he is. Moor. Oh, he's got it. That 7 looked a bit sticky, but the messenger took it.